force me to take any action. I'll start with my session. I hope I have made it very clear, all these things. I hope I was audible and the screen is visible. Otherwise, it will happen that I'm talking to walls. No response in the chat box. Am I audible? Did you listen or daydreaming? Why am I saying daydreaming? Because I myself got up at so late, around 10 o'clock, 10:15, 10:30. I had my tea, got freshened up and sitting for your session. Okay. So we'll start with combinatorics and graph theory. Now, many of the things which we are going to do it in combinatorics, you have learned it. And we are going to see some different aspects of it. As we have been saying that there are umpteenth ways, there are various ways of solving a problem. Similar to that, you have seen the algebraic part of it. We are going to do it combinatorially. Now, why am I going to do it combinatorially? Because once you learn the way of arguing in from combinatorics point of view, it will be easier for you to solve a complex problem. So let's proceed and check. We have last time we had seen strings, and you have also seen what is a string in theory of computation. So here what we are going to do, I'm going to usually I'm going to take day-to-day examples, and if you feel that you are not able to understand any day-to-day example or any theoretical example, please pause there and ask your questions. When I'm saying ask your questions, we expect you to put up in the chat and do not mute yourself for asking questions. In case when I ask you to mute, at that time only you should do it. Now, in these strings, first I should know what is a string and from where do I develop it. So if I have to make a word in English, I should know the English alphabet. So we are considering here a finite set A, and we are going to call this finite set A as character set or an alphabet. Now this finite set A can be kakhaga also, maybe a e e, or any other alphabets which you are aware of. In our case, we are going to treat this as English letter alphabets, which is easier for us to do it. So we are saying a finite sequence over character set A is called a string or a word, and it is usually written in the form of A1, A2, A3, and AN. So you're going to take the characters from this particular set, finite set A, and put up one after the other or concatenate them. And as many number of characters you're going to put up, you're going to call that as length of that particular string. So the number m of characters in the string is called its length. Say for example, if I take the 3-letter set ABC, check this is finite set, and the characters ABC are small letters ABC, and then I'll call it as capital A. From these, we are taking the characters and putting one after the other. So we're putting AA, BA, BB, CC, AB, CBB. Now, this is nothing but a word or a string over the finite set ABC. And what is its length? The length is 13. So we are saying that this particular thing is a 13-letter word or a string on the 3-letter alphabet ABC. You've seen this in theory of computation also. Now I'm going to take this one step further. In many computing languages, strings are also called as arrays. And you are well aware of how do I access the arrays. We're going to see where do these strings come to our head. There are many places where we use strings. Say if you are in a building, then your flat number is also labeled. Your street number is labeled. Your buildings are labeled. If you're in a colony of buildings, there many times they give you floor number and if maybe 1 2 3 4 5 6, I don't know. But if you check in the extension building of CHM College, we have given the numbering as E104, E105, which indicates that E stands for your extension building and 1 stands for your first floor, 01 stands for the number of that particular room. So if I say E112, so it says E is extension building, 1 is the first floor, 12 is the room number which we have allotted. So that way I can allot 99 rooms on the first floor. If I would have taken E11, that means first character for the floors and second character for the rooms, then I could have allotted only 9 rooms on the first floor. So that is how we plan and we give the numbering to any object which we want it to be either in the sorted form or a unique identification so that people can find it out easily. So now we are proceeding with vehicle registration index. Now, what I had explained you regarding the extension building, that was very simple. Anybody looking at that particular part, the E-101, 102, you can easily identify it is not the main building, it is the extension building. For the annexure building, the building which we had only I never thought that I also require the chorus at the back, like Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell. I never expected that. Anyway. Now, what we had described for the extension building, that was very simple rule. You just check out which building it is, main building M, annexure building A, and extension building E. Accordingly, you are going to give the first character, whether it is M, A, or E. Then you're going to find out which floor it is. In the main building, there are 3 floors. In the extension, 3 floors. In the annex, there is no floor. It is only on the ground. So many times we, instead of writing down it as annex building 1, 2, 3, 4, we just write down ground floor, that is G, room number 1, 2, 3, 4, or G13, G19, and so on. So that is what the convention is being followed by those people. And slowly and gradually, when you erect few more buildings or if you erect few more floors, you can change the nomenclature and you can put up for the people to use. Now here, when we are going to talk about the vehicle registration, I'm not talking about any 1 building, 2 buildings, or maybe 10 buildings. We're talking about full India. Now, if you're talking about India, we should have a unique registration number. How do they come up with these unique registration number? And if there is hit and run case, you just simply give them the number and they'll find out whether that is from Mumbai or from Delhi or Calcutta or from which state or which region it is from. So we'll have a look at this. Now, what I am going to show you these rules. These rules are modified recently. What we are going to do is, this is prior to when Jammu and Kashmir was being declared as a part of Indian state and same president is going to rule. This is prior to that. If the latest ones you want to have a look at, please look at the Wikipedia or Google or maybe RTO rules. So in India, earlier the format of vehicle registration index consists of 4 parts. What were those? The first 2 letters indicated the state or union territory to which the vehicle is registered. So I have first 2 letters. Then the next 2 were digits. The next 2 digits are sequential number of the district. And then the third is a category of the vehicle. and fourth part is a 4-digit number unique to each plate. Now, in this case, you'll say, how do I find out all these things? You can always ask the RTO people, they will give you the information, or this information is publicly available on the net. So say it says that if I have these 4 criteria or the rules, how many license plates are possible? Is it possible that I can make only 1,000, 10,000, 20,000, and so on? Now check, even 1 lakh would not suffice if I put up such kind of license plates. I want more, because as the population is growing, the number of vehicles are also growing. So we will have a look at these things. Now, very first thing we should understand that I have first part as 2 letters followed by 2 digits. So that becomes 4 places. Third part is a vehicle, category of vehicle. So that is 5th place. Then 4 part is a 4-digit number. So after 5 places, we have still 4 more places. So let's count how many places characters are to be put up. First 2 letters, so 2. Next 2 digits, so plus 2, that becomes 4. Then the category of vehicle, plus 1, 5. Then plus 4, 9. So I have a 9-letter registration index or a number plate. 9-letter number plate is possible. And from that 9-letter number plate, how many license plates can be generated? So let's have a look at it. We are saying let X be the set of states or union territories whose names are represented by 2 letters. Before I proceed, did you understand the question? Is there any doubt in the rules which we have put up? Any doubt? Punch in yes or no. If no, then put up no doubt. Are the rules clear? Only Divya has no doubt. Okay, Priyanka, Meenakshi, Samik, Sonali, Harsh, Vanita, Anant, Shweta, Pratik, Sagar. Okay, so now let's proceed. We are saying let X be the set of states or union territories whose names are represented by 2 letters. Now, as you stay in Maharashtra state, you know MH stands for Maharashtra. Similarly, DL stands for Delhi. So we are going to look at all such kind of states and union territories. So you can check LA is Ladakh, Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Chandigarh, Rajasthan, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Telangana state, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, West Bengal, Mizoram, Manipur, and so on. So all these things which are there, the states and union territories, we are going to take all these things and put up into the set. So now we are trying to list out all these in the form of states. So check, we have put up all these states. Prior to Jammu and Kashmir, when they were segregated, we had 36 states and union territories. So I'm going to proceed with the same one. So X stands for, stands for Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Arunachal Pradesh, and so on. Once we have defined what is my X set, now in this case I have said states, and then states are being given these 2-digit or 2-character representations. Now this is universally accepted. If you are devising any other thing, like say for example you were devising the algorithm for Aadhaar card, then in Aadhaar card also you will have to sit and check how many characters I should be putting up so that every person should be uniquely identified. Or say for example, if you were talking about PAN cards, now every individual has a one PAN card. If you have second PAN card, then you will definitely be caught and then you will be asked. So for filing the taxes or declaring your income, you will require Aadhaar cards, your PAN cards. So there also algorithm is there. If you are going to have a look at the Aadhaar card or PAN card algorithm, you'll get to know that how many unique identification numbers we can give them. Similarly, if you look at the people, those who stay in foreign countries, they have social security number. Your social security number is same as what we have as Aadhaar card. So we will not digress the topic. We will just check at this particular part. We'll first understand this, and then if you have any questions, I'll take up those. So we are taking first two characters from the set X. Now check again, this is a finite set which has 36 values into it, or I'll say 36 elements into it. Then we wanted next two as digits. Digits are from 0 to 9. So now these digits, I'm taking the set Y from 0 to 9. The cardinality or the size of the set is 10. And we are saying let Z be the set of elements specifying the category of vehicles. Now these category of vehicles, we are saying C is for cars, G is for goods vehicles, S, that is scooter, S is for two-wheelers, P is for public passenger vehicles such as buses, R is for three-wheeled rickshaws, T is for tourist licensed vehicles and taxis, V is for pickup trucks and vans, and Y is for hire vehicles. So we are saying that we are categorizing it right now in these different forms where there are 8 categories: C, G, S, P, R, T, V, and Y. If you come up with few more categories, if you want to bifurcate, you should go on adding it into this particular set, and the cardinality of the set will increase. So right now we have categorized into 8 different vehicles. So now my basic raw material is ready for deciding how many plates are there. So we have X, Y, and Z. So now let's check. A valid license plate is just a string from. We had first two characters. Now first two characters were from X. So first part will be from X. Then there were 2 digits. Now check. First part is from X. 2 characters from X. So these were 2 characters. So I'm taking from X any of the element. Then it was 2 digit. 2 digit means from Y I have to take. No, but Y is giving me only 1 digit. So I have to say Y cross Y. So check. I'm saying Y cross Y. Now from Y cross Y, how many elements can I put up? Now these are 0 to 9. 0 to 9 followed by 0 to 9. So it will be 10 cross 10. That means 100 elements. Which are 100 elements? 0 to 99. That is 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4, 0, 5, and so on. Now, do check, we do not allot 0 to any vehicle number. We start the counting from 1. So even if these digits taken 2 at a time, that is from 00 to 99, these are 100. But I can take only 99. Reason, I'm excluding 0. So you can check at the second position. Second position, I am excluding 0 from this at one position. So that says that if in the first position you have 0, the second position you cannot have 0. So if Y has 10 elements and this is this is combined is 10 square minus 1. Then from Z, we wanted the category of vehicles. Again, category of vehicles, we had Z. So these are 8 in number, followed by 4 digits. So I can have 0 here, 0 here, 0 here, but I can't have 0 here. So in this case, again, I will have from 0 to 9999. That is 9999. That becomes 10,000 numbers. But only one number is not allowed, 0000. Hence, we are excluding that value. So how many total number of elements will be there? So the number of possible license plates is, check in X. There were 36 values, so we have said 36. But 2-digit number, that means from 10 square, I am subtracting 1. Why? Because 0 is not allowed. Then from Z, I'm putting up all the 8 categories. And then we have 4 digit. From 4 digit, we will get 10 raised to 4. That is 10,000 elements, of which 0000 is not allowed. So one element is not allowed. And when I multiply this, I'm getting this. So we are getting so many license plates. 28 crore license plates we have. Now, if you want, you can expand this. If you feel that this is not sufficient, you can change or modify the things. Instead of 4-digit place, you can make it as 5-digit place and so on. So what we have been doing is we have first taken the states followed by a number. Now, what is this number? This number is the RTO number which is being allocated to every RTO office in that district. So if I talk about Rajasthan, RJ01, so then they will know that this is the RTO office which is at this particular place. Similarly, if you talk about Maharashtra, in the Maharashtra you have Mumbai, you have Navi Mumbai, you have the so many different places. So we'll have to find out how many RTOs they have, and accordingly they have given the numbering. We know there cannot be more than 99 RTO offices. And if in case if they feel that it is required, then instead of 2 digit, they can make it as 3 digit. So then 999 RTO offices can be there in that particular state. And then followed by Z. Now we have taken the vehicles as cars, also time rule is being used by the vehicles. That is whether it is CNG or petrol or diesel or whether it is environment friendly or not. We are not going into details of that. As per our criteria, what was being given, these many number of license plates are possible. Do you have any doubt in this? Okay, I'll go back to the screen, the question part, and I want you to take the screenshot for that. Please take the screenshot for the question. Minakshi, we have written y minus 0, which simply says that we are going to multiply y cross y, and from there I'm going to subtract 0. You take a screenshot for this, I will come back there. You swipe off the screen. It is expected that when the question is being asked to all of you have to respond. It is expected. If you don't respond, we don't mind it. Okay. Uh, I'll just for a few seconds, I'm going to stop screen sharing. I will make one change in the slide and then I'll start sharing it. Now check what Shekhar Padhi saying 29 states plus 7 union territories. We have mentioned all these things here. See, whenever you are going to uh, look at a problem, the problem says that we are going to look at this prior to 370 article was being lifted from Jammu and Kashmir. Shekhar Padi, I had said this very clearly that this is prior to when the Article 370 was lifted from Jammu and Kashmir. So at that time, we had 28 states and 8 union territories. Now, if you want to include 29 states and 7 union territories, please do it accordingly. Because at least I am not aware that they have changed the license plates in Jammu and Kashmir. They are still working. They are still working on it. They have not given new number plates to them. And if that is being given, that is a real world example which you should take up and you should work on it. So we were working on 28 states and 8 union territories, which Ritik Mishra has written down. And there was a question of Minakshi. Minakshi, you have written down, you have said, what is, I did not understand y minus 0. Now have a look at this. There were parenthesis problem over there. Check y cross y. How many elements do I have in y cross y? 10 cross 10, that is 10 square. From which what is not allowed? 0 is not allowed. So from 10 square, only one element is not allowed. Similarly, you can check, I have grouped this. We are having the Cartesian product of y with itself 4 times. So y cross y cross y cross y. How many elements will I have? I will have 10 raised to 4 elements. Of which what is not allowed? 0 is not allowed. Hence we have subtracted 1 from it. I hope this should be fine now. Meenakshi, I hope you got your point clear, or still you have any doubt? Do ask. Please take the screenshot for this. If you're done with the screenshot, let me know. Okay, we'll proceed. Those who are willing to take up this sample in the real world, please explore the options and you can find out how many license plates are possible. I'm proceeding for the second one. Now, this is regarding your number of strings which you can form. You have done all these things in your C programming and maybe Java, that how many bytes are required for integers, for floating point numbers, or for characters. And then there is difference between your C and Java character set. In C, you use ASCII values, while in Java, you use Unicode values. So it was not possible to accommodate all the uh, alphabets of all the languages in 1 byte, that is 8 bits. So that was being increased to 2 bytes, which is 16 bits. So Java characters, they use 2 bytes, that is 16 bits, while C character, it uses ASCII values of only 1 byte, which is 8 bits. 8 bit means 2 raised to 8 values. This is what we had been doing all along. Same way, in a 32-bit operating system, we want to give the instructions. Now, these instructions are to be given in the form of assembly language or mnemonics. So we are going to find out how many such kind of machine instructions can I provide in an assembly language where I have 32-bit operating system? Now, earlier, if it was 8-bit operating system, then the number of strings or the machine instructions which I can give is 2 raised to 8. Similarly, here we are finding out how many instructions or how many strings can I form. Now, what do I mean by machine instructions? You have already got the machine instructions as jump, move, add, load, such kind of instructions which you have done it in assembly language. So we are going to find out that how many such kind of strings can I make. So just find the total number of strings that can be formed or constructed in a 32-bit operating system. So a string in a 32-bit operating system is just a bit string of length 32. Now it is a bit string of length 32. So I will have 32 positions. At each position, I can have only 2 characters, either 0 or 1. So only two possibilities are there, either 0 or 1. Thus, there are 2 options for each of 32 positions to fill, making the number of such strings as 2 raised to 32. And so many instructions are possible. So if you are taking a 8-bit operating system, you will get 2 raised to 8 strings. But if it is 32-bit operating system, then these many machine instructions can be given. And you have seen latest, there instead of 32-bit operating system, we have already proceeded further with 64-bit operating system. So 2 raised to 64 instructions, machine instructions are possible, and this is very huge. So in general, the number of bit strings of length n is 2 raised to n. Please take the screenshot for this, and in case if you have any doubt, do ask. Since you are well aware of this part, hence I'm not going into detail. If you have any doubts, do ask. I will be extending my session by 10 to 15 minutes because I want to finish off one more example. I hope you people don't mind it. We are proceeding with the next example. So let's have a look at the next example. Be careful with this example because this is what we usually use in this in picking up our usernames on a website. So it says, suppose that a website allows its users to pick their own usernames for accounts. But every website will say, I will put up my own restrictions on it. So it imposes some restrictions. What are these restrictions? It is the first character must be an uppercase letter in the English alphabet. So first character has to be capital A, capital B till capital Z. That is what is uppercase. Then it says, we are giving you the option of you can select from second to sixth character. These can be letters, that is uppercase or lowercase alphabets in English, that is capital ABCD or small ABCD, and along with that you can also include digits. So from second through sixth you can give any of these. Then seventh position, we are not giving you any choice. It has to be only @ or dot. Now, a word of caution here. Whenever somebody is asking you to tell your email ID, say for example, if somebody is asking me, Ritika, can you give me your department's email ID? I will be telling them, yes, please note down. It is chmcompscience@gmail.com. Please note, I have read it as at. Whenever we are reading it in terms of
अहो जाऊन दे दादा अचानक झाले आता काय करणार याच्यात ठेवा नाही नाही असं अरे पुन्हा
Yes, Shivan, is your satsang over? Then I can continue with my satsang. Uh, yes, Shivan. Please unmute yourself. Yes, Shivan. Unmute. Come on the screen. Please dismiss Yash Shivan. I will not proceed until then. So we were talking about that in the as the first character we want only uppercase letters. Second through sixth we can have both uppercase, lowercase as well as the decimal digits. At the seventh position we want at the rate and dot. When we are reading at the rate, we just read at when we are telling somebody about the email ID. But if you are talking about interest or share markets and something of that sort or the price, then you use this particular character and you read it as at the rate. The 8th through 12th positions allow lowercase English letters. Along with lowercase English letters, they give you permission to use these three characters: star, percent, and hash. And on the 13th position, it must be a digit. So these are the rules for picking up the usernames on the website. So when these restrictions are being imposed, we want to know how many users can the website accept the registrations from. That means what are the total number of combinations which are possible for the website to give the usernames if these restrictions are being imposed. Take the screenshot for this particular question because I will not be able to repeat this on every slide. So I wanted to take a quick screenshot for this. Okay. Now let's proceed and check what it is. Be very careful. One mistake here and there in counting, it might give you a wrong answer for this, and the answer might be in lakhs and lakhs. So it says the first character must be an uppercase letter and so on. So in total, I have 13 digits. So we have these 13 digits, 1, 2, or I can say 13 positions. So I have 13 positions. Then we see in the first position, I can take only an uppercase letter. From second to sixth, what it can be? It can be uppercase, lowercase, or the digits. So uppercase, lowercase, and the digits. Seventh position, I can have only two characters, @ or full stop or a period. From 8th to 12th, we will have lowercase letters or these three special characters, hash, %, star. So from 9 to 12, we have this. And in the last 13th, we had only digits. We have just mentioned what all characters are allowed at these 13 different positions. Take a screenshot for this and then we'll start counting. Is it done? Okay, good enough. Anyone has any doubt in how do I decide upon which all characters are to be used and at these 13 different positions? No. Okay. We're proceeding further. So now I have these. I have to start counting for this. So we are starting the count for this. Uppercase letters. How many uppercase letters I have? I have only 26 uppercase letters. How many uppercase, lowercase, and digits all together? 26 uppercase and 26 lowercase. That comes out to be 52 plus 10 digits from 0 to 9. So that comes out to be 62. So check from second till sixth position, I can choose any character from the 62 characters. So uppercase 26, lowercase 26, and the digits. How many characters are available, or what is the cardinality of the set of characters at position 7? It is only 2. Similarly, at position 8, how many characters I can choose from? Lowercase letters are 26, and then these three. That becomes 26 plus 3 as 29. So from 8 to 12, I will have the characters as 29. So I can choose any one character from these 29 characters. And how many digits are there? There are 10 digits. So now check. I have so many combinations. First position, 26 characters. I can choose any one from that. Once I've chosen that, from the next, I can choose any one from 62. And then from next, I can choose any one from 62, and so on. So this simply says it is 26, into 62 into 62 into 62 into 62 into 62 into 2 into 29 into 29 into 29 into 29 into 29 into 10. So if I have to write down this compactly, I'll be writing down 26 into 62 raised to 5 into 2 into 29 raised to 5 into 10. So check. This is what the possible usernames are. We have 26 into 62 raised to 5 into 2 into 29 raised to 5 into 10 total possible usernames. Now check, this is very huge. If you go on expanding, you'll get still more. I think in the networking, you have learned the IP addresses. And in that IP addresses also, we find out whether 8 that 38 A dot B dot C dot D that will work, or A dot B dot C dot D colon E and F will work. That thing we will do it in the next session. If you have any doubts till this long, do ask. I'll be winding up over here. Do take a screenshot for this. After taking screenshot, please let me know so that I can unshare the screen. Okay, we'll wind up here for today's session. Before I leave this meeting, you might have seen that from today onwards, 2 o'clock onwards, your MCQ test is kept open, but then we have kept time limit for that. Every day you'll have to appear only for that particular test. Each paper has been, the timetable has been given to you, the schedule has been mentioned. If you are not able to perform during that time, you will have to mention why could you not perform during that time. We will not be able to give you another chance for it. So as far as possible, try to appear for your quiz within the time frame which has been given to you. We'll stop here today.
Okay, student, am I audible? Okay. Okay, student. Whatever I had explained in the previous lecture, yes, whatever thing, theory or program. Okay. So in today lecture, I will explain you how you can how you can run your PLSQL program practically. So today session is about, you have to just check how you can save your PLSQL file, and which software we will be used in practical, or how you can run your PLSQL program in that same software. Okay. So whatever program I had explained you till the last lecture, that program is simple program. Yes, only simple. That programs, that questions, in that question we are not using any type of databases. Yes, any type of SQL query. Just we are initialize some variable and declare some variable and initialize the value and just print the some sentences. Yes, but in today's session I will explain you that how you can use your SQL query in PLSQL block. How you can write down the PLSQL block using SQL query. SQL query means which type of query, or explanation I had done in the previous lecture, in the last previous lecture, that program is a simple program. That question are not using any SQL query or any database query. That program will not be usable. That is okay for basic programming languages, but that is not usable for database, because when you work in the company, you have to create some databases or add the details in that databases and manage the databases. Yes, so for that you have to just learn in this session, today's session, you have to learn that how you can use the SQL query in the PLSQL block, and how you can create your tables or insert the data in the table, and how you can view your table. Yes, so just check. Before doing the practical question, you have to just create some folders or directories, because you have to save your files in that directories. Yes, so every time, whenever at home or at college, first you have to make directories. You have to create some directories or some folders where you have to save your files. Yes, everyone understand? So every time when you perform some practical question or some practice question, first create the folder or directory and save your all the practical files, all the program files in that directory, because that is easy to pick up or check which type of program you had done in your previous. Yes, so just check how you can create your directory. Select any drive as per your list available in your system. Yes, first make folder, create the folder, class folder, give the name SYCS, then the batch folder, then in that roll number folder, and in that subject code folder. Yes, so whenever we will perform our practicals, you have to make the directory or you have to make the folder like that. Yes, select the D or E drive, then you have to first create the SYCS folder, then in that you have to create batch folder. For example, your batch number, a batch is B1, then you have to create the B1 folder, then roll number, and then your subject folder. Yes, subject code folder. Yes, course code folder. Yes, you in that you have to save all your files in this folder, USCS 304. Everyone understand? Yes or no? Every time whenever you perform your practical question at home or at college, yes, at your home or college, you have to just create the directory. First, you have to create the directory. Everyone understand? Is it okay? Yes. Okay. Check the next step. First, you have everyone asked in the last lecture that which software we will be used to run the PLSQL program in the practical. Yes, so in the practical we will be use this software. Yes, check the software name: Oracle Database 11 G Express Edition, SQL command line. Okay, so you have to use this software to run the PLSQL program. You can easily download or install this software from the internet. Yes, you can easily download. Everyone understand? So which software you have to use? This Oracle Database 11G Express Edition, that is our SQL command line. Yes, so just check. Okay, how you can run or how you can save your file? Everyone just note it down or remember, this is necessary. Yeah? This is important things. Whenever you create, whenever you write down the PLSQL block, you have to save that block, that program in some files. Yes, with extension .sql. Just check how you can save. First, check the step. First, you need to open Notepad file, because if you write down your all program in Notepad file, you can easily run that program in any time, because if you write down that program on command line, yes, SQL command line, you have to every time you have to write down or you have to type entire program. But if you type or save your program in Notepad file, you can easily use that file at any time. Yeah. So what first step is open Notepad file. Then second step is type your program, PLSQL block, type your program in that Notepad file. Then third step is save the file name. Yes, how you can save? Select the folder, whatever folder you have created, just check the folder SYCS, then batch number, roll number, and then subject. Select that part. In that, you have to save this file with file name dot extension SQL. Yes, so your PLSQL block program file extension is every program, every block file end with dot SQL. If you don't write down, if you don't save that file name with extension dot SQL, that file is considered as a text file. Okay, so it is compulsory. You have to save that Notepad file with dot extension with dot SQL. Yes, this is your file name. You can write or save file name with any name, but you have to compulsory save that file name with dot SQL extension. Understand this step, and after that you have to run the that PLSQL block on the SQL block. Is it okay? Do you have any query? Yes or no? Okay. Check the next step. First step is done. First step is create the directory or folder. The second step is you have to just open the Notepad file and write down the program in that Notepad file. And the next thing, you have to just save that Notepad file with any name, but with extension dot SQL extension. You have to save that file with dot SQL extension. Yes. So just check the next. This is your first question. First, write down, because you have to perform. First, write down. You have to write that program in Notepad file. So first, check the first question. This is simple question. Yes. After that, we will see the main SQL queries question. Yes. This is your simple question. You have to write down PLSQL block to print the following output in the formatted manner. Yes. You have just check the question. Check. This is your output. Output is given in your exam. Yes, this is your output. You have to write down the PLSQL block to print this type of output, this type format of output using PLSQL block. You have to type the output. You have to write down the program that will display output like this. Everyone understand? Yes or no? Everyone understand the question? Yes. Okay. You have to just print. You have to write down the PLSQL block. You have to write down the PLSQL program to print the following output, to display the following output in the same format data. In the same. If after hello, comma is there, and after John, full stop is there, and you have to write down this first line. Just check. Sorry. This is the first line, this is the second line, and both line you have to, this my subject code line you have to enter on the next line. Yes. Okay. Same output, same format data. If comma is there, colon is there, semicolon is there, you have to write down, you have to print the output in the same format. Yes. This hello, my name is John. I'm studying in SYCS M3. This is your first line. So you have to print this on the first line. And my subject code is USCS 304. This is my first program. This is your second line. So you have to print this output on first line and second line. Yes, you can't display that this my subject code is USCS 304 in on the first line. So ditto, you have to print the output in this same manner. Yes. So check how you can write down the program. Check. Okay. First thing, everyone just tell me, in this type of program, declaration is needed. Is declaration need? is declaration part needed in this type of program? Yes. If yes, then tell me what thing you will be declared. You have to just check this slide. You have to just print this message, print this description about the John. Yes. So you have to just print this description. So is this declaration is needed in this to display this output? Okay, some student tell me Sagar, Harshada, Meenakshi, no. Okay, so no declaration is needed for this type of output. Yes, so just check. So program will be start with which keyword? If declaration is not needed, so program will start with which keyword? Begin. Okay, check. Your program, if declaration is not needed for any program, your program will start with begin keyword. Yes, so just check begin. Then why this dbms underscore output dot put underscore line method is used? Why it is used? Yes, tell me why this method is used. Printing message. Okay, displaying the message. Okay. Okay, so just check first line. Your first line is hello, my name is John. Okay, then full stop, I'm studying in class SYCS, then comma, same, -3 and single quotes. Okay, so just check how you can write. Just you have to write down this method. Yes, and then whatever message or whatever alphabets or character you have to print, you have to write down that message in single quotes. Yes, so just check. Before writing down this sentence or this statement or this message, you have to start with single quotes. Everyone understand? String or character in the PLSQL block enclosed with single quotes. So you have to just start with single quotes and I write down hello, then comma, my name is John, then full stop. I'm studying in class SYCS, then comma, then SEM3, then full stop, then close this messages with single quote and then semicolon. Yes, check the next. If you write this line, my subject code is USCS 30, continue in there. If you want that your description, if you want to use multiple lines for your description, so you have to use multiple method. Yes, if you are using same, if you want to display this line, so if you are using this only one method, only one DBMS output method, and you have to write down this line in this method. Yes, so this my subject code is not printed on the next line, it is printed on the first line in the same line. Yes, so if you want that this my subject code is USCS tracer will be printed on the second line, then you have to use another DBMS output method. You have to use second output method. Yes, so for every line, if you want to start every message or every statement or every sentence on the next line, you have to use multiple DBMS output underscore line. Understand everyone? Yes or no? Is it okay everyone? If you write down, if you want that you have to write down the paragraph, so you have to use just one DBMS output line. Yes, if you want that every sentence is start with the next line, yes, every sentence you have to write down on the next line, you have to use DBMS output underscore put underscore line, this method multiple times. Okay, is it okay? Then end with which keyword? This PLSQL block end with which keyword? End. Okay, or every PLSQL block, every PLSQL statement end with Every PLSQL statement end with statement. I said statement. Semicolon. Okay, good. And if you want to execute this program, so which symbol is used to execute this program? Okay, slash. Good, everyone. So just check. This is your program. Hello, my name is Johan. Johan, and I'm studying in class. Same thing. This is a simple program, just printing the message. Yes, this program will not use any database. Yes, any SQL query. This is not used. This program are not using any SQL query. This is your program. So whatever program I had explained, this is same type. Yes, just you have to declare some variable, initialize the variable, and print the message. Yes, but in company you have to just not display that type. You have to you will not writing down this type of program. You have to just create the database and put the data in that database. You have to create the database. So for that we will see how you can create your table, how you can insert the data in table. Query will be same, but the syntax is different. Syntax of query is same, but method of writing in PLSQL blog is different. Just check. This is your simple program. Check the output when you execute. So means this is your first step is done. Yes. Sorry, second step is creator. Second step is you have to write down the program in Notepad file and save this file as a save this file with .SQL extension. Yes. So your second step is also done. But the third step is you have to run this program. So how you can run? How you can run this program on SQL prompt? So just check. So first, for running the program, you have to just start the Oracle SQL command line. So how you can start? So just check the step. Click on the start. Either you quickly search run SQL command line or SQL command line, or just search Oracle database 11G Express Edition folder. Yes. So just check the screenshot how you can search. My operating system is Windows 10. If you are using Windows 7 or some older version, you can just click on start button program, and in that you have to search this file Oracle. You have to just this folder Oracle 11G Express Edition. In that this run SQL command line is there. You have to just click on that and open your command line. Either you have to choose this, you have to open SQL command. You can open this way, or this is the another way. Directly there is a search bar is there. Search bar is there. You can just search run SQL command line. So this will be open. Yes, SQL command line. This is your SQL command line. You can run your program, your PLSQL program also on command prompt. Yes, this is not your command prompt. This is your SQL command line. Yes, directly you can run your program, and in command prompt, using command prompt you can also run your program, but some steps are different. Yes, is it okay everyone? How you can open your command line, SQL command line? Most of the students are currently using this Windows 10. If you are using older version, the steps is same. Just click on start programs and just find out this Oracle 11 database 11G. If search bar option is there, then directly search run SQL command line. Is it okay? Yes or no? Student, is it okay? Okay, check the next thing. But after opening the command line, your command line SQL command will be open, SQL prompt will be open. How you can use that SQL prompt? Yes, first you need to log in on that SQL prompt. So just check your SQL prompt will be look like this. This is your SQL prompt. Just check SQL run SQL command line. Yes, this is your SQL prompt. Check SQL star plus Yeah, this is your version or something. So first you need to log in on the SQL prompt. So this is your steps. So connect your login, your username. You have to connect as connect system. You have to type on the
Muted.
you can run your SQL program, PLSQL program on command prompt. Yes, the method is different. In some steps are different. You have to just log in. You have to just type SQL plus. Then you have to connect the system. Then password. You can use command prompt also. Yes, everyone. Is it okay? This is your SQL command line. Huh? You can directly open, type in search bar SQL command. Then this will be open. You have to just log in and just fire your query. Whatever query you have to fire, that query you can fire on that SQL command. Yes, MySQL is different. Huh? MySQL is different, and this is different. Is it okay? Shall I proceed, everyone? Pankaj, this is command line of interface. Yes. This command line. Command line not contain any GUI. GUI and this command line are different. On command line, you can, whatever you have to run, you have to just type the command. Yes. SQL server, MySQL server is also there to create the database. But in this semester, you have to just you have to learn this SQL command line. If you want to learn SQL on GUI, if you want, then you can use MySQL server also to create the database. Yes, MySQL server 2000, it is also there to create the database in Windows. Yes, but this is your command line operator, this command line interpreter to run your SQL program or SQL query. Is it okay? Or create your databases. So just check. So shall I proceed, everyone? Is it okay? All the fourth step, everyone clear? Again, I repeat first, because these steps I will not explain in the practical. So that's why I'm explaining slowly. If you don't understand, if you have doubt, please ask me. Yes. So first step is you have to create your directory or folder. Second step is you have to create second step is you have to just open notepad file, write your program in that notepad file and save that file with extension .sql. Yes, and After that, the fourth step is you have to run this SQL prompt. Yes, run that program on SQL prompt. So how you can open your SQL prompt? SQL command line. So you have to just click on start and just select the Oracle 11j Express Edition. In that, you have to just run SQL command. Or either you can, or another way is you have to just search SQL command line and search bar. Yes, and just open this SQL command prompt. Yes, this SQL prompt, after opening this SQL prompt, you have to first step is you have to log in on this command prompt. Yes, so how you can log in? Connect system, and this is like a username. Yes, connect system. System is your username, and this password is maybe in some places admin or in some places root. Is it okay? Check the next step. Okay, the next step is after login, you have to run your PLSQL block. So select the path where your .sql file is saved. Yes, after opening or after login on the command prompt, you have to run that file. So how you can run? First, select that path where you have to, where your .sql file is saved. Just say my SQL file, my program file is saved in this particular path. Yes, my path is this G, then my folder name is 2020, then SYCS, then program, and in that my program file is saved. My program first program is there, so I save my program. My program name is one.sql. Just check. You have to copy this path. Yes. So next step is you have to copy that path where your that SQL file is saved. You have to save in the first step, and I tell you that you have to save your program in some directory or some folder. So just create, you have to copy that path, and you have to, next step is just check the next step. Paste that selected path on the SQL prompt. Yes, you have to paste that. So how you can paste? First, you have to write down add. Yes, write down this symbol add, and then single quote. You have to open the single quote and paste this path. Yes, when you paste this path, check this slide. How you can paste? You have to write down add in single quotes. You have to paste that path with, yes, from G, whatever drive you in which drive you have to save, that you have to select that drive, from in select that path till your file name. So this is your last folder. So your folder name is maybe subject code USCS 304, and this is your program name. Yes, program file, your file name one.sql, and you have to close this single quotes. Is it okay, everyone? Everyone understand this step? How you can select the path? Okay, and paste the path on the command prompt, but you need to paste that path. Before paste the path, you have to write down this symbol, add symbol, add, then single quotes. Okay, you have to paste this path. This path is enclosed in single quotes. Is it okay? Check the next slide. After, yes, after pasting the path, you have to just press enter and output will be displayed. Check. Output is PLSQL procedure successfully completed. Your output will not be displayed. Okay. Your output will be, what will be the output? Hello, my name is John, something like that. Yes, your output. But check, your output will not be displayed. Okay. Your output will not be displayed. Why your output is not displayed? Because some statement is there. If you want to display your program is executed successfully. Yeah? If this line is displayed, PLSQL procedure successfully completed, that means your program is error free. Yes, your program is error free. There is no error in your program. Yes, your program is executed successfully, but output is not displayed. But why your output is not displayed? For that, you have to just open, you have to just type some statement. If you type that statement, your output will be displayed. If you don't type, your output will not be displayed. Compulsory, you have to type that statement. You have to type that statement only once. Yes, when your command, whenever you open your command prompt, yes, you have to just first type that. After logging, first you have to type that statement and then run the path, paste the path, and just run your execute your. So then your output will be displayed. If you don't type that part, that type that statement, your output will not. Your program is executed successfully, because if is there any error in your program, this command prompt will be display that error. Yes, but it display procedure successfully completed. Yes, because PLSQL procedure successfully completed, and this PLSQL, every program program is considered as a procedure. So that's why it written, it display PLSQL procedure successfully completed. That means your program is error free. Only your output is not showing. Yes, so for showing that or for displaying the output, you have to run, just check. When your server output, this server output is off. Server output is used for displaying your output. Yes, for showing your output on the command prompt screen. Yes, on this command prompt screen. So just check. When your server output is off, your output is this PLSQL procedure successfully completed. So type this statement: set server output on. Check, there is no space between server output. Yes, this is entire one word, server output. So set server output on. If you on this server output, then your um, output will be displayed. Just check the next step. Check this step. When you type, you have to type like this: set server output on, semicolon. Yes, because this is all, this is the statement. You have to just click on semicolon. Yes, Piyush. Okay. Set server output on and just check the output. After entering, after typing this set server output on, or after open on the set server output, you have to rerun the program again. You have to rerun. So how you can run? Again, paste the path. Again, you have to paste the path. Yes, using up arrow, you can run your, when you click on up arrow, your path will be automatically displayed. Yes, at the rate at in single quote, your path means after on. Some students understand that if he or she type this set server output on, automatically output will be displayed. No, you have to rerun your program again. You have to again execute your program. For executing, you have to paste the path of your program. Yes, so you have to paste the path of your program, then your output will be displayed. Check this output: hello, my name is John dot, I'm studying in class comma sem 3, my subject code is this, is my first program, and PLSQL procedure successfully completed. Yes, for every program this line will be displayed. Yes, everyone punch your PRN number. Yes, Meenakshi, you have query. Do you have doubt? Yes, you can write this command, this set server output on. You can write this command. Yes, check. You can write this command, this statement set server output on before pasting this part. Yes. So first you have to just on this server output and then you have to first, if when your server output is off, your output will not be displayed. Yes, output is not displayed. Only PLSQL procedure successfully completed. This is display. Yes. So if you want to display your output on the screen, you have to just on this server output. This how you can on the set server. The syntax is set server output. There is no space between set server output on. Yes. And after that you have to rerun your program again. You have to rerun this program. Just paste that part where your file is saved, .sql file is saved, paste that part, copy that part from there, and then paste that part. Your program, that output will be displayed. Is it okay, everyone? Understand? Yes or no? Is it okay, everyone? Just wait. All these steps we will wait, everyone. I'll just open the SQL command prompt and show how you can wait. Student, command prompt is visible. Is it visible? Command prompt is visible? No. Okay, wait. Okay, check. Okay, is it visible? Okay. Check. Okay, font is visible, everyone. Okay. First step, you have to just connect system. Then type the password admin and display connected. Yes. So next step is you can just first copy the path where your file is saved. Yes, check. You have to just copy this path. Before pasting the path, you have to type at, then in single quotes, paste the path. Yes, and then slash 1.sql and close this path. Okay, is it okay? Understand everyone? And then click on enter. Just 1 minute. Just 1 second. If any error is there, so just check. This prompt will be display the error. Yes. Check. My begin keyword is missing, so it display the error unknown command beginning, because your program is start with the ZDMS output, but every time your program start with begin. Yes, begin keyword. So after solving this error, check it display procedure, PLSQL procedure successfully completed. Yes. So next thing is type this set server output, set server output on. Then again you have to, after typing this set server, after on this open on this subset server output, you have to just rerun using up arrow. You can select that path, enter, so then it display your output. Is it okay everyone? Yes or no? All the step clear everyone? How you can log in your login on SQL command prompt, how you can paste your path, execute your query every time. So it for every time, because every time students forget this to on the server output. Yes, so please be habit, make your habit that when you write your program in notepad file, so just write that this line, make the habit, set server output on in the notepad file. If you write down this in the notepad file, you don't need to write down in this on the command prompt. Is it okay? Do you have any doubt regarding the steps? Everyone clear? Okay. Check the next program. Wait.
Okay. 6, 6, 6.
Okay. Check the next. Question is same. Yes. Check, write the PLSQL block to differences. In first question, you have to just display the output in the respected format. But in this question, you have to accept the details. Accept the details, name, then class, semester, course. All these details you have to take the accept from the user. Yes, you have to accept this detail from the user and display in it format. Yes, so just check. Let's check. Output is same. You have to display output like this, but output, but you have to take this John name from the user and class from the user. SYCS. You have to take this output, take this detail from the user. Means John, SYCS, SAM3, and subject code. Yes. So how you can take or accept the details from the user? Just check. Okay, in this program declaration is needed because you have to take the details or accept the details from the